Alrighty then, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome! My name is Michael, I'm the Diddlesy Gamer, and welcome to Pathfinder 2nd Edition playthrough of Curse of the Crimson Throne, a wonderful and amazing adventure by the folks over at Paizo. We're a little bit early today, but that's okay, because we have a lovely and amazingly supportive raid coming in from our friends over at Dork Tales. Big shout out and big love to our dear friends from over on the other side of Twitch. Thank you for the raid. Thank you all for coming in. I did see what Frog Heman said about, Dag being, a wonderful GM and stuff like that. But here's the thing, all right? Having been on the table with Kelly, having been actually a part of some of the Dorktail fam streams and stuff like that, I gotta say, Kelly might be mad about that, but I'm humble to even be put in the same category as someone that amazing, that talented, and that brilliant as a storyteller. Love you, buddy. You're amazing. But thank you for bringing your crew and your family here. For those of you who don't know what I do or who I am Dag. I am otherwise known as the Paizo guy or the Pathfinder dude. Basically, this is where you find a lot of cool Pathfinder games. Now, for those of you who don't know what Pathfinder is, if you're familiar with Dungeons & Dragons or the like, it is a tabletop role-playing game in which I take on the titular role of the game master, telling stories, weaving tales, arbitrating rules, and doling out consequences that are deemed by the roll of a 20-sided dice. Joining me today are my wonderful and illustrious players who help me by being entertaining and having characters traverse my worlds and engage with all the cool and wacky nonsense that we are doing. Guys, say hello to the folks at home.
Hello, folks at home.
Hello.
Oh, okay, hold on, wait. You're coming through the wrong speaker. Let's try that again super quick. Okay, and once more with feeling.
Hello.
Hello, folks at home.
Yeah, brilliant. All right, there we go. All right, fantastic. Now, guys, now, before we kick off in today's session, we always like to begin every game by reminding everyone that we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the support of these amazing and fantastic companies who help keep the lights on and allow us to do all the cool, wonderful, and amazing things we do here on the channel. Starting with Hero Forge for the wonderful art you can see on stream here. Some of my players are not on webcam, but they are, in fact, here with the help of Hero Forge and a program called Reactive. So when they speak, you can see them animate their Hero Forge models. Guys, can we get you guys to sound off first?
Yeah.
Yeah, look at them go. Woo! All right. Then, of course, we have... Hero Forge, yes. So not only can you make these really cool figurines to use in streams and stuff like that, but you can also get them 3D printed. Look at them. Bam! How cool are they? You can get them made as custom, bespoke characters for your tabletop games. Either 3D printed, or you can get them as 2D standees, which are really cool, especially if, like me, you do travel around a bit. So, yeah, go check out Hero Forge. Go check out all the cool stuff. Then, of course, we have Sirenscape for the wonderful sound effects that we use during the game, because every session just gets so much more immersive with the introduction of really cool sound effects. You could set a really cool tone, like the tone of a creepy vault, and just layer in just tiny little bits of sound and music. Have the sounds of something moving, crawling through the dirt, and then be able to, just emphasize a lot of the stuff that you as a GM can bring to a game. So yeah, Sirenscape has a huge and robust library, so if you have a chance to, go and check that out. And lastly, we have our VTT, Fantasy Grounds. Fantasy Grounds, boom, there it is, all the stuff. Honestly, Fantasy Grounds is an expensive VTT compared to most, but I've got to say it is definitely worth it for me, as someone who does a lot of audience interaction stuff, especially with you guys. Guys, it lets me really kind of sink my teeth into focusing on my role play, focusing on, having a lot of fun, building encounters at the drop of a hat, and, focus on the really important things like role playing and having fun, as opposed to niddling around with freaking tech and rules and blah, 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 blah. So there you go. That's it. Now, Oh, yes, thank you, Schooly Eye. Also, for those of you who don't know, I am nominated for a Crit Award. It's a big award ceremony to recognize folks in the TTRPG industry. Anyone who is watching stream and feels so inclined, it would mean the world to me if you guys could follow the form link and potentially give a vote to your friend Daggerino, who is up for Best Legacy Twitch Channel. So there's that as well. Also, another group of which who I'm in the cast with is up for Best NPC, which is Careful Cantrip for the NPC Jed. So yeah, if you like that, go check that out. Go do the thing. All right, let's now meet our amazing cast of characters for today's session, starting with none other than Padrig, the spell slinger played by our dear friend Twiff.
Hello, yes, I am Patrick. I'm playing a spell shot gunslinger. Patrick is the third son of a minor noble house in Corvosa. He was set to go off to wizard school, not having to worry about taking over the family position in the nobility. When he got framed for murder by Gadrin Lamb, he got kicked out of school, he got kicked out of his family, he was disowned, and he went and met with these people and got his revenge on Gadrin Lamb, and together we have been traveling, doing good, freeing Corvosa from curses like the Blood Veil, and attempting to find more information here in the Cinderlands about the ancient evil dragon spirit that might be controlling the queen, who is very, very bad, and right now seemingly unable to be killed.
Fantastic. Then next we have, playing the role of the Asmodean cleric, Holly, we have our dear friend Malakisa.
Hello. Holly is a fairy noble who decided that she was just going to go ahead and skip the things that she was supposed to do, which was namely get married, and go off and Whoa, what's happening?
Sorry, my apologies. We have a tech bug. Okay.
Well, that was the first.
Yeah, that was crazy. Hold on.
Was
That
like the
was-
loop of infinity.
Yeah, it was the yeah. We had a bit of a feedback
It
loop there.
wasn't me.
And off Holly goes into the oblivion. Okay, hold on. Go. All right, we're done. Sorry, Holly. Can you give us that last little bit again?
Okay, so her job as a fairy noble was to get married. She decided that she didn't want to do that. So she read lots and lots and lots of adventure books and decided she wanted to have an adventure of her own. So she took off and wound up in Corvosa and found out very quickly that real life was not at all like her adventure books. So she wound up with these people, and in the course of her adventures, she wanted to save some orphans from dying of the plague, and wound up selling her soul to Asmodeus and becoming his cleric because she didn't want her orphan friends to die. So now she's grappling with how to be a good person, which she was a good person, but now she's supposed to not be a good person. So she's working on it.
All right, brilliant. Then, of course, following that amazing character, we have Quinn, the investigator, played by our dear friend Ira Janasi.
There, Michael.
Hello, how are you?
Well, how are you? Looking
I am-
forward to the game.
Oh, me too, me too. Tell me a little bit about Quinn.
Quinn is a native to the city of Corvosa. She's an investigator by trade and by class. She is with the party. We are in the Cinderlands, baking to a crisp, and doing the trials of the Shwanti right now.
Oh, there you go, there you go. And how do you feel the trials are going currently?
Well, we're still alive and we're earning those respect points, so I'd say we're doing all right.
Nice. Yeah, I'd
Holding our
agree.
own.
I think you guys are doing pretty well. You know what? I don't think you've lost too much respect. I think you've lost one because of the rock that you dropped, but I think that's it, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the obsidian pillar that broke. Yep.
Yeah, but that's it. I mean, all things considered, not bad, not bad. All right, next up we have, playing the role of Dante, the Kitsune druid, our dear friend Rykon.
Hello, I am Rykon playing Dante the Kitsune Druid, local to Corvosa Sports. We are currently having to deal with the trials, and it's going pretty well. No one died.
Yep, true. No one's died.
Well, technically, one died again.
Yeah, that's true. It's true. Marcus did die.
Outside of that, no one else has died.
Fair enough. There you go. All right, brilliant. Fair enough. Trying to live. That is 90% of the game of whatever you're playing. If you're playing Pathfinder, yep, you got to survive against paths. So there you go. Next up, we have playing the role of Agnes, the fortune teller, our dear friend and longtime compatriot from across the pond, Laura Bones.
Hello, good evening.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Yes, indeed. Agnes, who is a psychic, who was just set out to really just put the city to rights because they'd gone to shit in a handbasket. And now she's in the desert, and she's like, "Oh, I was supposed to have a date. I think 3 Fridays ago, and well, I think I'm a bit late."
Oh, just a little late. Yeah. You know what? I love is when stories just revolve around some really wholesome shit. Like, I want to go on a date. Just want to see a guy, have some dinner, walk on the beach, that kind of thing. You can't have nice things in role-playing games, unfortunately. So, there you go.
No.
Yeah. Well, fingers crossed. He might still be waiting there, melted candle. She's coming, I swear. Like, 2 weeks later. Or he comes every Friday for the foreseeable future. Like, just continually comes on Friday.
Oh, poor Dan.
All right. And last but certainly not least, a new member to our group of adventurers. We have Alexander, the Hell Knight from the Order of the Gate, played by our dear friend Marcus, the storyteller. G'day, Marcus.
Hello. Yep. I'm Marcus. I'm playing Alexander, like Dag said, Order of the Gate Hell Knight. Also a native to Corvosa. He is the younger brother to the guard captain, Cressida Croft. And he was on his way home because he heard some shit was going down and got swallowed by a worm. Was rescued by Agnes and is very much not trusted by anybody yet.
Well, yeah,
Yet.
That's true. And they don't know you, but hopefully they will.
Exactly.
And we will be embarking on that today. Now, guys, thank you to my players for those lovely introductions. Now, we have one last person to thank before we kick off in today's adventure, and that is you guys in chat. Guys, thank you for being a part of the show, whether or not you've come week in, week out, or if you've just jumped in as part of the raid and are checking me out for the first time. Wherever you happen to be from or whatever you're happening to do, thank you so much for taking the time to check out my show and my channel and things. As thanks, we always here at the Nerdy Gamer channel invite our audience members to participate in the game as we are playing as well. We spend a ton of time creating a bunch of incentives for you guys to interact with chat as we are playing. We have a bunch of channel points that you can redeem just by watching the show. You earn these channel points and you can use them at any point in time and just be like, yeah, there you go. You got cool things happening, inspiration, insight bonuses, wandering monsters, and a bunch of other stuff. And subscribers, you guys earn channel points a little bit faster, so extra bonuses for that too. Plus a bunch of emotes. We are going to be getting some more emotes sometime later. But yeah, we are doing that. Then, of course, we have, for those of you who are able to, our monthly DAG donation goals, which, help me keep the lights on here in my house, and a bunch of rewards that come from monetary donations. First of all, for $5, you can donate either a red mark to a player of your choice or a purple mark to me. These are hero points or jinx points. Hero points can be used to petition the GM for stuff that isn't in the rules, roll with advantage, or stave off a killing blow. Jinx points can be used to counteract hero points, have bad guys roll with advantage, or just gently complicate something. Just gently complicate something. A little tiny, little nudge there. That's what it is. For $10, I will draw from one of 2 decks of cards I have laid out in front of me. The first deck is a plot twist flashback deck, which has a bunch of story prompts. I will draw 3 of these story prompts. You will pick one of them, and I will try to incorporate it into the game. Then, of course, we have our heroic action deck, which, if you want to, instead of choosing a a plot twist, you can award a player a heroic action, which is a free kind of superpower that their character suddenly gets, that also functions as a hero point as well. So they're heroic actions. For $20, you can give someone the coveted golden natural 20, which counts as a natural 20 towards the game. A lot of fun, a lot of power, a lot of cool stuff that happens there. For $50, you can increase the difficulty of a challenge our group is currently facing, making a boss more difficult, making the terrain unpassable, making the stakes a lot higher. Basically, it is a major complication to what my players are doing right now. Or if you feel like favoring the players, that $50 can go towards buying a magic item to a player of your choice. So there's that all in a nutshell. Lastly, we have the $100 secret menu item, because the secret menu item is technically off menu. It's something that changes week to week, game to game. For this particular session, we have a very special encounter brewed up for our secret menu item, and that is, of course, the Rogue Hell Knights. A band of Rogue Hell Knights will be visiting the area surrounding the place that our heroes are in. However, there is a massive complication. They are not the law-abiding upholders of righteousness and law the way that most Hell Knights may be. And our group will have to deal with that, should it come to pass. Hell Knights, for those of you unfamiliar with the Pathfinder world, despite their evil name, are actually just people who walk around as lawful as possible. They believe in structure, they believe in hierarchy, they believe in law. Unfortunately, sometimes that means upholding the laws of evil kingdoms, but other times it means upholding, the law of, more peaceful places. So yeah, their Hell Knights come kind of many flavors, and these flavors would be the bad ones. So yeah, that is our secret menu item, the Hell Knight Patrol. All right, guys, you ready to play some games?
Yeah.
Let's
Heck
do the
yeah.
Yeah. Let's
All
go.
right. So, without any further ado. Oh, yes, thank you. The drawn plot twist card. The first draw was Wrath for our plot twist. And the second was Broken, courtesy of our dear friend Schoolie. I always forget this. I always forget to come back to the plot twist, the donations. So thank you so much, Schoolie, for the $30 donation. Your plot twist is the Broken card. I don't know what I'm going to do with that yet, but that is there nonetheless. The hero points have been awarded. We have 2 hero points for Alexander. We have 1 hero point for Agnes and 1 hero point for Quinn, I believe, was our donations there. No, sorry. 1 hero point for Quinn, 1 hero point for Dante, 2 hero points for Alexander. Then we have had a Jinx point donation from our dear friend Christina. Thank you, Christina, you legend, you. And there we go. That's the thing. Those are the things. Okay. Good. Now I'm ready. Thank you. Oh, right. Also, Hype Train. Guys, for those people who have donated to the Hype Train this morning, because, yes, I also kind of just swept up in everything. All right. We completed a level 5 Hype Train, got into level 6, which means that we get something unique. To my group, I will provide you with 5 runestones. These runestones will give you a boost of a +4 to any stat that you have temporarily for a battle. If you use this rune, it will provide you, say, a +4 to your dex, or a +4 to your strength, or +4 to your con, or wherever you would like them. You have 5 runes. They can be allocated to any stat at any given time, but once consumed, they are gone. So the group has 5 of these rune stones, if you would like to make a note of this. But yes, so a special shout out and thank you to the people who subscribed, McClover, who just popped in and subscribed as well. You legend, you. Malakisa, thank you so much for a 5 gifted subs out into the community. Christina for your returning sub, as well as Mally for your returning sub. Schooly for coming in with 5 other gifted subs. Thank you so much. And Twiff and OG, thank you as well for your continued subscription and support. It is always very, very appreciated. Mwah. You guys are amazing. Yes, Seth, they are strong. I do try to make sure that all of my audience participation rewards are something powerful, worthwhile, and yeah, something that you guys are, going to enjoy and use. So, yay. All right. Ah, shh. I got to change my alarm on that. Okay, without any further ado. We find ourselves at a camp belonging to the Shawanti tribesmen. Our heroes, having emerged victorious from the trial of the totem, in which they were required to climb a massive hill and hold steady several large monoliths. These represented the ancient ancestors of the Shawanti tribes, and they needed to be held for 3 days so that they could look over the small Shawanti village and part of their tradition prove that our heroes are worthy of the clan's respect. Well, despite the blistering winds, the scorching heat, and the attack of several large land sharks, which you can see behind me, our heroes managed to preserve 5 out of the 6 stones and earn some measure of respect from the Shawanti. But why are our heroes trying to earn their respect? Well, for that we have to go back to Corvosa, a city in turmoil after the death of the Emperor, the evil queen inciting rebellion, riots, disease, and worse among her populace, all at the behest of an evil entity they believed to be an ancient dragon, Kazavron, who had been long since dormant in these lands, but had now found an opportunity with the queen to try and restore their own power back into the world. To learn about Kazavron, our heroes needed to find out about those who had defeated him in the past. The Shawanti storytellers, who passed down their knowledge from generation to generation, were the only ones who had encountered Kazavron before. And so our heroes must prove themselves worthy of the tribes before they can get access to this information. They have done a few of these tasks already, including gaining the mark of the 7-pointed star, the mark of the Thrall Keeper. They have also proven themselves worthy by slaying the Cinderlander, a mass murderer who had been hunting Shawanti tribesmen for many years. And now, with the Sun Shaman's totems now obviously shown the proper respect, our heroes are that much closer to becoming accepted by the tribes. Now, before you guys set out to head for the House of the Moon, where you are to speak with the the Moon Clan's shaman speaker, you're invited to stay the night, rest, and eat with the tribe. It is almost like a feast, a festival, where food is abundant. The yurts that have been placed around the place are decorated. Children run around with various fetishes and effigies, and you could see that people cheers off a fermented cactus-like drink. As celebration continues, the 6 of you are placed in your own accommodation for the night, a small yurt just outside the village. While you have earned a lot of respect, you are still Tashmek, outsiders, and are not invited to stay within the village borders. But you are welcome to visit as guests and eat and supply yourself properly. resting upon a log, you are presented with a veritable buffet of food. In addition to Krojan, who happens to be here, you have also met the Sun Shaman, the person who has the knowledge on Kazavron that you need to eventually speak to. You also can see that there are a number of individuals, like the Chieftain, the First Warrior, and many more who are, just milling about should you wish to interact with them. But for now, however, you have some measure of privacy to yourselves. The scene is yours. What would you like to do?
Certainly would like to be feasting.
All right.
As far as interacting with the Shawante, I mean, Padraig, of course, doesn't know the language, so he's just going to be nodding a lot and, milling about, trying not to be awkward.
Nice.
But probably having enough interaction with them to be respectful before retreating back to our private yurt. It's bad enough being at a party. It's especially bad when you can't actually even talk to anyone because you don't understand anything that's going on.
Oh, that is very, very true. More importantly as well, is that as you are, feasting and the like, they're trying to give you honors, but obviously there's a little bit of like contention here. So the food you are eating is actually pieces of the bulette that you had slain. So there's basically honor when you provide food for the clan. So they try to, but at the same time, it seems like they're just talking at you more than talking to you. Agnes, however, who does, and I think Quinn as well, both of you do speak Shawanti, and you can understand what they are saying. They're basically saying, thanks for the feast. These creatures look really big. We can't believe you've slayed them. These creatures, we call them steel sharks because they, have steel armored plates. To kill one is, very difficult. You guys are amazing. I really hope that you do well in your trials. And, all of these just kind of keep just coming at you one after the other and stuff. But then people, as soon as they finish talking to you, will, hurry away. So yeah.
Is there any dessert at the feast?
Dessert. Ooh, interesting question. There's kind of like this, there's no sugar, but there is this kind of powdered like cake that's made of milk. It's kind of almost like a custard type thing. If the custard was like very, very, very dried, and when you bite into it, it sort of mixes with your saliva and then becomes a cream.
Holly's not super happy with that, but she's just going to eat that and probably nothing else.
All right.
And she's also going to cast tongues so she can hear, but she's not going to tell anyone she did it.
Sure, not a problem. All right. Anyone else?
Is there any dancing? Right,
yeah. Lots of people are dancing by what looks to be a massive fire that blazes in the center of camp. It seems to be a very key central point with lots of symbols of the sun sort of emblazoned around on banners that circle around the big fire.
Okay. Agnes will definitely, I think, be drawn into, because it's been a while. Like, they used to dance all the time in the Virgin caravans and stuff like that. And so while she may not necessarily know the Shawanti dances, she'll probably maybe do a few Varisian ones. Because, I mean, the Shawanti and the Varisian, were friendly, so...
Well,
yeah,
if you do ask, they can play Varisian music.
Yeah, so I mean, if they're willing, she'll ask to play, and then she'll do like a Varisian dance as well, and
Absolutely. All right. The music begins to shift as Agnes takes up the area around the fire. Many of the Shawanti sort of sit down, like especially the men, because for them the warrior dance is kind of what they do. But you know, not all of them, as the Shawanti have been long friends with the Varisians, and very few know the dance, but many are willing to play around and try. Especially the young, especially the women. The music is more appealing to them, and they are more festive when they participate. Agnes, can I get a performance check from you, please?
Oh dear.
And while we do that, I would like to give a special shout out once more to our friend McClover, who has come in with a $40 donation to lock, stock, and load everyone at the table fully now with our hero points. So that was 2 hero points for Padraig, Holly, Dante, and Agnes.
It's
Thank
been a
you,
while since she's
Clover.
danced. She's a bit rusty.
All right, with your 14, with a 14, here's the thing. It's you do miss a few steps, and sure, maybe it's been. I mean, bear in mind you left the Varisian buskers many years ago, and the steps that you have, however, are still very enchanting, and the and everyone sort of seems to follow in it. You have definitely invented a few new moves of your own, and people are just absolutely enamored with your outfit, your poise. It is stuff they do not commonly see. All right.
Yeah, and
Anyone
then
else?
she'll get out a puff after a few rounds and go sit down.
So Crojan was the only one, at least the only one Alexander met that speaks common, right?
Yes.
Remembering about the spirit warrior and the axe, Alexander is going to seek out Crojan.
All right. Looking about the camp, it does not take you long to find Crojan. For those of you who had missed the previous sessions, Crojan eats what he kills is the Sun Clan's top fighter. He is the most renowned hunter of the clan, and he met the group when they were in the middle of a burial ceremony for a member of the Sun Clan. He challenged the group, who were Tashmek, outsiders, to a few games of strength, but thankfully our heroes proved themselves to be more than worthy challengers. Since then, he is, I guess, softened to our heroes. However, he has never met Alexander. So as Alexander walks up, Crojan looks pretty angry. He does not stop eating, but he has that whole alpha male kind of thing. His legs are spread apart. He's got a chunk of barely cooked meat mashing between his teeth as he's tearing flesh as he watches you approach.
You were the one that approached us when the children knocked over the rocks, were you not?
Yes.
I have something that I believe belongs back with your people. And he takes the axe off his back and kind of not to like get in anybody's way of their food, but he like sets it on the table.
Remind Dag what this axe was.
The flaming retribution axe.
From the Ghost Warrior.
Oh yes, from the one that you
In the
found in
Cindermaw.
the from the one that you found in
Cindermaw.
Cindermore.
Yeah.
Yes. Do you? Well, I mean, you put the axe down, and I know that there is an implied thing here, but for the audience members who may not necessarily understand the story of this axe, would you like to tell Crojan where you found it and what you did with it?
Yeah. So as Alexander sets it down, he begins to recall what happened. I was trapped inside the one you call your god, and if it weren't for
Okay, sorry.
the
Let me
others,
rephrase that, Marcus. Pretend like you're telling this story to people who have no idea about any of your adventure up to the point in which you start this story. Not as if you're talking to this guy, but we're talking to these guys. These guys in the
okay.
audience. These people here.
So yeah, Alexander was trapped inside Cindermaw when Agnes and Dante were
Who is
also there.
Cindermore?
I just said this though 5 seconds ago. I said there.
No, I know, but the whole thing. It's a story. Look, you're literally called Marcus the Storyteller.
Yes, but I don't do this live for people, so it's weird for me. Okay, backtracking from the start, from the top. Okay, Alexander was found inside Cindermore, who is from what I've gathered, the Shawanti's like god. It was it's a giant magma worm. And when Alexander was heading back to Corvosa, he was swallowed by said worm. While he was in there, he met Agnes and Dante, who he still doesn't fully understand why they were there. But they were there for one of the trials. Agnes spotted a light far down, deeper into the worm, and she and Alexander went to investigate it. And they found a ghost warrior of a woman who was kind of at odds with her clan, but like, so she kind of came out to prove herself and died at some point. We don't know when, but we know that it was a long time ago. And that's where we recovered her axe, I think boots and gloves.
Yes.
I know yeah. And we managed to pull it out or rescue the gear along with completing the trial of cutting ourselves out of the worm.
All right. As you place the axe down, Trojan has a look at it. This is my sister's axe. Where did you find this?
Inside
Sorry, no, he
Cindermore.
doesn't say that. My apologies. You did actually literally just recap it.
Yeah.
He says, we had always wondered. I never knew what became of her. So she took the trial. Then she died well. But she didn't need to prove anything. He leans down and picks up the axe, takes hold of it, and he says, you should take it.
Are you sure?
Without a body, there is nowhere for this axe to call home. This is a tool. The Shawanti believe that the spirits carry within it, forged into its purpose. My sister was not meant to gather dust. If she can see the end of your journey, I'm sure she would be pleased with this.
All right. If that is what you suggest, then I will do my best to take care of this axe.
As he hands the axe over, two things happen. First of all, you gain a heroic action from Clover who has awarded you a heroic action for your recap.
Woo.
Well done. And it is good and very appreciated. I do like that. Give me a number between 1 to 5, and we'll allocate that.
I've been doing 3 for everything, so we'll just stick with 3.
1, 2, 3. Okay. Here we go. Interesting. Okay. Catch your breath. Select yourself or an ally within 30 foot. The creature you choose must have fewer than half their hit points. You then gain a number of temporary hit points equal to twice your level until the combat ends.
That's actually not too bad.
That's not too bad. Catch your breath. That's that one. Thank you, McClover, for that. I also want to give a special shout out to Marcus just then as well. Like, one of the big things that we have here, obviously being a live stream and the like, is we do try as best as we can to make sure that you don't have to watch every single episode in order to enjoy a session here. So I do want to say that I do appreciate, Marcus, you recapping again for us and stuff like that, because of course I could recap and stuff, but it's always fun to hear from the perspective of the other players in the quests of what they do. But also we need to, yeah. I was grateful that you were able to keep mindful of, like, the audience and yada yada. So thank you for that as well. And I will award your next D20 roll at advantage as well.
Woo.
Okay. Now, as he hands you the axe, he, however, does not let it go. He tells you, he asks you if you understand the significance of the trial of the Shawanti, the significance of working towards what it is you're doing.
Alexander has to think for a moment because he doesn't understand fully why they're doing this, but what he does understand is that these trials are working towards some large scale thing and earning the clan's favor, to him at least, seems like a worthy endeavor.
So what do you say?
Yes.
You understand the significance?
Sure, yeah.
Okay, well then I won't tell you. And he hands you the axe, and then off you go.
Marcus doesn't, but
then Alexander. So why would Alexander? Alexander has no idea. You literally just said you have no idea what's going on.
Because I don't know what to say. I don't do
No,
well under pressure.
no is the correct answer. No, I do not understand the significance. Maybe you'd be so kind to enlighten me.
I don't. Well,
I can't. I can't be vulnerable and say I don't know stuff.
No, in my brain, it's if I say no, he's gonna call me an idiot and get mad at me for it.
That's you making assumptions right there.
Fine.
Typical Hell Knight.
Yeah, right.
What? No.
Right?
Damn.
Damn, fucking. I can just imagine Patrick just sitting there eating a bowl of soup, just yells it out.
He's watching this like, oh man, I'm glad it's not me.
Fine. Alexander.
Should I intervene? Nah, popcorn.
Alexander will, I mean, even though he's still wearing his mask, will look at him in the face and go, I will be completely honest. I am still not quite sure.
As you both hold onto the axe, he explains, the Shawanti are a proud people. We have endured more than many understand. We do not trust easy. We do not trust lightly. These trials, they are a way for people to see and experience what we have gone through as a people. The branding marks of the thrall keepers, the time in which we were slaves, the facing against Cindermore, being able to stand against the creatures and beasts in an inhospitable land so that we may carve a place for ourselves to call home. The importance of the lessons learned by the ancestors, the power of tradition being held up by the future generations. He says, looking at the stones that you had held up. Understand, the Shawanti do not wish to test your strength. They want you to see as they see. That is what makes you Shawanti. And he'll release the axe at that point. The point being that he is giving you the axe as part of his tradition and as part of carrying his sister's legacy, not just providing you with a magic weapon.
Right. Before Alexander goes, he asks, because I don't think we ever got her name. He goes, "What was the name of your sister?" If it's not impolite of me to ask.
Did I name her before?
I don't remember.
The name.
I think so, because I'm
I f-
sure Agnes asked, but I
Yeah, I
can't
feel like I did
remember.
name her, but I can't remember what it was. So I'm gonna rename her.
I have kanji listed, but I don't know if that's their name.
Kanji it is. Her name was
And
Kanji.
now I'm hungry.
You don't agree?
No, I said, and now I'm hungry.
And now you're hungry. True. That's kanji. It's very different, but yeah. So, her name was Kanji, the bearer of flame.
It's,
Oh God. Everything's gone weird. Okay, there we go.
I will
Okay.
do well to remember that. Thank you.
All right. You bid farewell, and Crojan goes about his beeswax. And the evening presses on. Dante, was there anything you or Quinn wanted to do for the evening before the party wound down?
No,
Sorry.
Quinn is just keeping an eye on Alexander and sort of enjoying Agnes's dance, quietly absorbing everything.
Nice.
Yeah, Dante is kind of decompressing after the very long days and nights.
You have had several very long days and nights. And sure enough, those eventually come to a head that evening when you finally get a chance to rest. With the food slowly diminishing, as well as the very strong alcohol, you retire to the yurt that has been provided for you. Again, a short distance away from the camp. There are several dogs that have been placed around as guards. They kind of told you that they're just training the dogs, but it's kind of like just a secret. Like they want to look out for you, so they've put them out there. As you prepare to turn in for the night, you have an opportunity to talk to one another. All right, you are welcome and free to do so.
As we're settling down, Patrick is probably going to turn to Alexander and say, "Listen, appreciate your assistance so far. Are you intending to stay with us? I know that you said you were heading to Corvosa to help your sister, Our path there is by no means direct. We may be out here for a while. We have things to do before we even think about returning. And I'm not sure of your intention or your motivation, if I'm perfectly honest.
You did tell me this the day we met, and I'll tell you my intention and motivation again. It is simply for the sake of my sister. Now, I understand that you guys have. The only thing you have told me is that there is bad stuff going on in Corvosa. Now you have to
There
look at it.
is.
Now you have to
And
look at this through my eyes.
your sister may be in danger.
Precisely. And if her Hell Knight brother were to just show up out of the blue, do you not think that would put her in more danger?
I suspect it won't put her in more.
I'm not sure she could be put in more danger at this point right now. And there are Hell Knights in Corvosa. We have
Yes,
not
but
had
not
good
of my order.
experience with them.
Yes, you have mentioned that as well. And as I've said, they are not of my order. I cannot speak for their actions. I can only speak for my own and my orders.
So, as someone who's not well versed in the differences between the various Hell Knight orders, I've only experienced them in action recently and rumors of their actions. I don't know what it means for your order, what you do, what your order's intentions are, how you behave. All that I've seen and all that I've experienced is a group of people marching into a city and deciding that they have the authority to act on their interpretation of the law, whatever that might be.
Mm,
So, what is your order? What do you do? What do you consider the law?
that last one's a little harder to answer. But as for what my order is the Order of the Gate. Our primary dealings are with preventative measures to prevent crimes before they happen, whether it be of the supernatural, the arcane. Typically, most members of my order use. We're all majority spellcasters. There's very few that are not. That is, we are actually the order with the most signifiers, which are, well, magic users.
And how do you prevent a crime before it happens?
We have plenty of those in my order who are able to glimpse into the future, for a better word.
Sounds like you arrest innocent people.
I literally just said they glimpse into the future.
How
That's
certain are we that they're seeing the right future or the future accurately?
And if they haven't committed the crime yet,
dubious.
they're still innocent.
Well, it's not like we go kicking down doors and arresting every single person we think might commit a crime. It's more along the lines of we get word that something may happen. We go and investigate and we wait. If something does happen, that's when we go in before it actually happens.
I'm a little confused. So, if someone glimpses a woman murdering her husband with a knife, and she's in the kitchen with a knife, is that when you intervene? even though
Well-
she might just be filleting fish.
Well, no, that's a little ridiculous.
Actually, yes. That's if the oracle predicts that she is going to kill her husband, they will come in and stop her before she kills her husband.
Minority Report.
Yeah.
Yep.
But it's not a
So-
gut feeling of this might happen. It's a very clear like this is the future. Like the oracles are this specific thing
Yeah.
will happen.
Okay,
So how
and-
often are you guys wrong? And how would you ever know?
Would I know how to answer that, Michael?
You would probably you're looking at the Hell Knight doctrine. The thing is Hell Knights are conditioned in faith and belief in their order. For you, it would probably be in the case of the Hell Knight order is never wrong. The oracles have been doing this for decades, and the signifiers all have aspire for the vision accuracy that the oracles, who we do follow the orders of, adhere to. Many atrocities have been prevented, and many acts of depravity have been halted by the faith that the Order of the Gate have in these oracle readings. We do not believe that there is failure in these prophecies, because each and every one of these incidences have been changed by the presence of the Hell Knight Order, and always for the best. It is not what doesn't happen that we look at. It is what does not. We look at how things have been made better by the intervention of the Hell Knight Order. We also do not simply kill in order to resolve our issues. There is law, there is judicial process.
And is the testimony then of the oracle sufficient to convict someone of a crime that they've not committed?
They'd explain that the oracles themselves explain everything. The motive, the feelings, whatever. Like, I mean, I'm not gonna go with just like, it's usually a lot bigger than just a single person is about to commit a single crime. It's not quite that small. It's more like a tomb is about to be unearthed, and this guy is going to be the one responsible for unearthing it. He will be warned to stop his digging to find this artifact, but will refuse to do so. And so this person needs to be stopped, and they may be arrested for, returning to that site with a group of Hell Knight oracles that are waiting for them, for example. Their testimonies usually come down to things like Zone of Truth. Did you intend to do this, or was this your purpose here? Yada yada yada. And again, even the Zone of Truth can read things like intent. For example, did you intend to kill your husband that night? Yeah, actually, I did. Or no, I didn't.
They have ways of questioning and telling if they'll
So-
lie or not.
So you're the order that predicts, let's say, calamitous, world-shattering, or maybe city-shattering events and works to prevent them from happening. Is like Corvosa a blind spot for you guys? Or are you thinking what's been happening there is actually for the best? Because you said you're not really out on this, not representing your order in this. You're coming to help your sister.
And you don't know what's going on in Corvosa.
This is true. I don't. I'm not one of those who are gifted with seeing the future. Unfortunately, like I said, I was like I mentioned before. I was a student at the academy. I got recruited in. Mine's more arcane based than, actually seeing things. But no, like I said, I heard that something was going on. I requested leave for a time.
So they're aware of what's going on. It's just apparently not enough to intervene. That's good to know. Well, no matter.
If they are aware, I am not entirely sure. That all I said was that there was some family struggles going on.
So are you not aware because they don't think that it's worth their intervention, or you're just not high enough rank to be aware of what they're thinking?
It could be both.
Well,
Or it could also be, dearie, that the gods simply don't think it's important enough to impart the knowledge to the oracles. The oracles are at the whim of the visions. It's not like they can seek for things or that they're all knowing of everything that happens. Like other
no, I
people that
understand
receive
that.
visions.
Well, and Agnes, I know that you catch glimpses too, but they're all just possibilities. Nothing is set in stone. Everything's a choice.
This is true, dearie, but I'll ask you a question also. How many people do you reckon are languishing in the prisons of Corvosa that perhaps didn't commit the crime that they have been accused for by trial and jury?
That's different.
How?
It's different because, well, first off, too many, and I will know that. And there's many people who are in there because they happen to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. But that's something where you can argue against the evidence. Circumstantial, you're being biased against this person. Oh, you know, the system's against them. You know, evidence can be argued against because it's a physical thing, it's there. It's definitely harder for those who believe in this sort of infallibility of oracles say, well, you know, a god told me that they were going to commit this crime, and even though they haven't done it yet, we're going to do something. And the other difference is that a crime had been committed. Maybe they got the wrong person because they didn't interpret the evidence correctly, or someone was being shit at their job and just picked up a usual suspect because, they didn't want to be bothered. We've made mistakes based on assumptions, based on very clear assumptions. If you recall, our friend, whose name is going to elude me, but who was once a member of the guard and was disillusioned for much of the same reasons. And we absolutely were sure that he was in on that whole cannibalism thing, and he had no idea. Happened under his nose. We had clear evidence. The man's right there. These people work for him. They had bodies hanging in the storeroom, in the freezer, and we were wrong. But there was a crime that was being committed. It wasn't just someone coming up and saying, hey, God told me that you're going to, set a bomb off in the middle of the city, so we're taking you away before you can do that. Now, did they have bomb making material in their basement? Maybe they had stuff that could be made into a bomb. Lots of benign things can be wound up and turn into explosives. Trust me, I know. Anyone who looked in my lab could accuse me of plotting just about anything. I've got the reagents and the materials to make all sorts of unpleasant things, and I've made some of them. Doesn't mean that I'm going to use them on the innocents, doesn't mean that I'm going to commit some horrible crime, but you could make a case against me if someone said that a god told them that I was a threat. So I'm always leery of accusing someone of going to be doing something. it's unfortunate. It would be great if we could always be sure without a shadow of a doubt that predictions and visions and prophecy would always come out the way that we think. But we all know prophecy, especially, can always be taken the wrong way. Remember the old canard? A king goes to find out what will happen in the war that he's plotting against his enemies and is told, if you cross this river, a great army will be destroyed, and says, hooray, I'm going to win. Goes across, and his great army is the one destroyed. It's all a matter of interpretation. You have to have something that happened before you start accusing people of doing things.
Again, the difference between that, your story, and what we do is we have specifics. It isn't just feeling. It isn't just, oh,
No,
they
but you
might
have
do
You
you
don't
something.
have
have
specifics. You
It's
have oracles with visions.
you have specifics
precise
from a god,
visions.
and the gods don't have agendas. They all have agendas. They have more agendas than mortals do.
And who better than to
Agnes
speak for
just
them?
takes a couple of 5-foot step away from wherever Patrick is, just in case the lightning bolt from the actual gods that exist in this world decide
Yeah,
what that
especially
contribution.
like the actual literal gods of fate, you know, like basically sitting there going, "Fuck
They'll agree with
you
me."
agenda having corporate fascists." This, of course, by the way, I'd also like to point out this coming from a guy who is literally raised on privilege.
Hey, no, hey, he's just speaking to. Hey, he's the third son, right? He's the
Oh
one
yeah. At this
who
point,
gets to go
I'm-
off into these things.
I'm gonna do like actually I'm gonna coin a very new TTRPG term here. Like right now, I'm gonna do this. This is amazing. It's been a while since I've done this because, you know, there's a lot to be said here. This is a very philosophical discussion, but I'm now going to instigate a reality check. Patrick, can I get you to make me a wisdom check, please?
A wisdom check, huh?
Yeah. So here's what a
All right.
reality check is. A reality check is we as humans, we as people have beliefs, have ideals, have values, have things that have built up over many years. This is just the nature of humanity and the nature of ourselves. When we play a role-playing game, however, there are certain things that are difficult to translate, such as pain, for example. We do not understand pain in the same way in our D&D world than if we do in the real world, because we don't feel that pain. When our characters are on one hit point, we are still fighting the good fight and not realizing what it truly means to interpret ourselves being an inch away from actual certain death, right? Because we are not that we are not that character. We are not that person. So a reality check is this. It is a realigning of our meta understanding of the world and the universe around us versus the understanding that these characters may have within a metaverse of its own. So, Patrick, with your wisdom check of... Actually, I need to scroll here. Sorry, one moment.
All right, so this is just roll for my wisdom stat, or do you want
Yes.
me to use
Just your
skill?
wisdom. Just your wisdom stat.
All right, that's got a great plus nothing modifier.
Natural 1. Brilliant. So,
That's phenomenal.
perfect.
Couldn't
That's
have
amazing.
anything better.
All right. Now, the reason why we're doing this as a wisdom check is wisdom is our ability to interpret the world around us. This also includes things like our faith and philosophy. It's why monks have wisdom. It's why clerics have wisdom. Patrick, in this moment, there are 3 things that stand out to you as a character. Number 1 is you live in a world where the gods literally dictate what happens to certain things. While they may not necessarily physically or directly manipulate things to their agendas, the plans of the gods and the way that the world works is pushed and pulled by their will in general. That is just an overarching, the gods are real, yada, yada, yada. You know this, we know this,
Yeah.
right? The second is that those who serve the gods spend a copious amounts of time living their lives under the belief that these gods are not necessarily infallible, but in fact a major guidance to their lifestyle, who they are, and how they traverse and navigate this world. It is why we have gods. For example, what is Padrig's god?
Brig.
Bree is the god of innovation and technology. Were
Mhm.
you not to believe in this god, your genuine belief is that you would fail a ton more times at your ability to create and to innovate than if you didn't have that belief. You know what I mean? Like that is the purpose of your worship. You believe that their blessings are what is helping you be able to maintain your guns, to develop better technologies, to continually come up with ideas. And without her influence, that inspiration would vanish. And that is true. That is a fact about the world itself. Is without her, innovation would fall to someone else's purview, and it may not be the same. If, for example, innovation fell to Asmodeus, you would be getting some really messed up ideas on, making guns that shoot demons or something, whatever. Point being is that is the reality behind belief, right? The only people who are exempt from this are the people of Rahadum, who are the people who are worshippers of the law of man. They believe the gods exist, but they are petulant children. It is forbidden to worship people in their kingdom, right? So that's them over there. They're close to the atheists. Now, in this moment, as you are discussing this, Alexander is there, Quinn's there, Padrig's there, Agnes is there. Agnes is taking a step back, right? Padrig has a moment where he realizes you are talking not to a Hell Knight, not to someone who is working for a corrupt despot or a king. You suddenly realize in that moment that you are speaking to someone who is talking to you akin to the way a cleric would talk about their faith. That you are going toe-to-toe with someone who's... You're not trying to find out if that person has done things that are wrong or that person has acted in this way, but you're trying to shake a belief or a faith in an organization that uses belief and faith to push its not agenda, but to function in the way that it is. Now, Padrig has their feelings towards the Hell Knights. This would strike Padrig as bizarre, as weird, as almost alien. This is not a discussion you would have with a Hell Knight. This is not the type of discussion you would have with a Hell Knight. The Hell Knights, they are officers, they're policemen and stuff like that. This dude sounds like a cleric. This dude sounds like, you don't need a reason to believe in the oracles. The oracles are infallible. The fact that you are suggesting that these visions may not be real, what you're saying is made up. You have no idea because you do not know the oracle's predictions. You do not know how specific these are being. You have far less information than the acts of the oracle, who have not only predicted these things, but when followed through, have prevented numerous things from happening before. So between where you're standing off, this is belief versus belief. Now with your natural one, I'm going to say that unfortunately at this point in time, Padrig, you are at a loss for words in regards to this. You know that this will keep going round and round in circles, but the walk away from here is this dude is not a Hell Knight in the way you understand them to be. That's the walk away.
Padrig's just going to look down at his glass of cactus juice. Look, this stuff is really strong.
I have heard it is the quenchiest.
God damn it.
Well done. Okay. Now, here's the thing. I'm gonna give you guys actually, you know what? Everyone in the table. I loved this conversation, and I know that I do have to kind of weed it back in, but I am gonna give everyone a free divine intervention for this one. As part of the gods hearing this conversation, everyone has been provided a divine intervention. This divine intervention, however, will only pertain to realms or areas involved with whatever god your character currently worships. So, for example, you've got divine worship of, say, Bree. Anything involving technology, innovation, crafting, etc., 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 you may use your divine intervention.
Okay.
Holly, you've got Asmodeus. Again, contracts, law, evil, fire, that sort of stuff. Again, divine intervention will help you there. Quinn, who's your god?
Abadar.
Abdar. So commerce, community, the city, things like that. Yes, that'll count for you. Dante.
Gosray.
Gosray, nature, weather, environment, plants and animals, that sort of thing. Agnes.
Desna.
Desna, dreams, fate, travel, the stars and the heavens and the like. I'll even throw fortune telling into there as well. And Alexander.
Also, Asmodeus.
Asmodeus, cool. So, same thing. Evil contracts, yada yada yada. So, anything pertaining to your gods, you will have a divine intervention, as they will lend you some tiny measure of assistance. So there you go. And this is, yes, exactly, Lilac. This is the gods' version of actually to your whole argument. Is they will just nudge you a little bit at some point or not in time. It's like I just need to make sure these guys believe in us properly. Yeah, little nudge. All right. While this discussion, sorry, who was that?
Agnes is also gonna, I think at this point she's gonna stand up, and she's still got the wooden toy train in her hand, and she's just gonna look around at everybody and go, right. Oh, Quinn, I'm sorry. Alexander, the truth of the matter is that we believe the Queen might have been taken over by some kind of dragon that's trying to bring itself back into the world, using her in some fashion to wreak whatever dastardly deeds are occurring within Corvosa. We're out here tramping across the desert to get the goodwill of these lovely people here who defeated this dragon once in the past, in the hope that they will help us defeat the dragon in the future. Right, now you have motivation. And
Quinn
everybody knows
is
what's going on.
shooting daggers from her eyes at Agnes.
The
And then Agnes sits down. Oh,
the glass
right.
that Alexander has in his hand.
I never
just
thought you
kind
were
of,
foolish.
Just kind of drops.
Yep. Captain's
Yep.
juice.
Evil Ghost Dragon.
That was not yours yours alone to share. And I don't appreciate it.
That's why I said sorry.
Okay, out of character.
It's not going to work. You're not going to charm me out of this.
Really?
Nobody will be able to.
Have you seen my diplomacy skill?
Roll charisma off. Both of you roll your charisma simultaneously.
Just straight up charisma.
Just straight up charisma. No diplomacy.
Oh.
I gotta find my charisma. It's missing.
On your front page.
It is
Oh.
Hold on.
It's on
main. It's on your main
Oh
page.
yeah, great. Got it. Come on. Well, doesn't that figure?
Okay. Well, you're still mad. Agnes is. I mean,
Yes,
again,
I
you guys
am.
have traveled. You guys have traveled together for a while, so you do know your friends. But it has been brought. The friendship has been stressed here. It's like Quinn will remember this moment. Like from the video games. Yeah, that's kind of that's kind of a thing. Yes.
Well, of course, she just jeopardized everyone's safety.
Holly's gonna go over to Quinn quietly. Quinn, I know you're angry, but we really like Agnes, and she's our friend, and she seems to trust Alexander. So maybe we should give him the benefit of the doubt. And I'm not saying
Agnes trusts everyone, Holly.
I
I'm going
know.
to step out. I need a moment. I'm going to step outside. But
Okay.
thank you. I appreciate what you're trying to do. I really do.
Okay. Can I have a hug?
Quinn stiffens from the top of her head down to her toes. And very woodenly, she sort of sticks her arms out. They're straight. There's like no hug like in them. Okay.
Holly tries to give a good hug, but she knows Quinn's annoyed, so she keeps it short.
Okay, very well. You
Also,
give
the size differences.
yeah, you give one of those short side hugs type things. And then Quinn steps out into the cold night air. Hearing what you have, Alexander, what is your next thing?
Well, like I said, the glass kind of just like slips out of his hands and lands on the ground when he heard everything, and he kind of like tenses up a bit. That definitely complicates matters.
That's one word for it.
I understand that you guys do not trust me. And being in your situation, I wouldn't either. I get it.
I have no reason to either trust nor distrust you at this point. You're just someone I met inside a worm. God damn it. What kind of life am I? That's an actual sentence. Anyway. Besides the point.
Every fiber of my being is screaming at me to send words to my order.
The queen, yeah, and at this point, Patrick is going to note the danger your sister is in is because in her bid for power, the queen disbanded the city guard and replaced them with those loyal only to her. She has isolated anyone she thinks is a threat.
For folks,
She was shot in the eye with a crossbow bolt and plucked it out. We have evidence that she is responsible for engaging the Red Mantis that created the Crimson Veil Plague that killed thousands upon thousands of innocents and spread chaos and disorder through the city, all to gain power. So understand, we are not malcontents who are bristling under a change that otherwise went smoothly. We know she killed her husband because we know who she framed for it. We have evidence from people on the inside in the castle who are aware of the plots. We know that she was in league with Ergothoans and had a vampire create this plague, set it upon people. And we were celebrated for curing it because, well, the politics of the moment demanded it. She's in league with necromancers, assassins, and all sorts of, frankly, evil. And the Hell Knights that came to Corvosa support her because she is in charge and therefore she is law and therefore whatever she says is right. The morality of it be damned. So if you're seeking to understand our hesitation at bringing you into confidence, our hesitation to accept you and to speak of what we're doing here in your presence, this is why. From the perspective of those who think only of the law as what's important, we're on the wrong side of it. We are acting against the lawful sovereign of a city. But we know that she gained her place through murder. We know what she's capable and what she's been trying to do, and we know that she will not stop unless she is stopped. And so when I ask about your oracles, this is the sort of thing that I would expect them to try and take care of if your order is what you say it is. This is the sort of thing that we should have divine intervention for, don't you think? Unleashing a plague, killing the innocent, killing the poor, killing orphans. Heck, Holly here was just a regular old fairy until she tried to save some orphans. And the only way she could do it was to sell her soul. We're still trying to tell her that, that was a bad idea, but we're working on that.
Sell her soul.
Yeah.
To who?
Asmodeus.
Alexander's like,
No.
oh, that's fine. Carry on.
Yeah.
Well,
I know
I
him
mean-
well. We're
well,
chums.
well, not that I have an issue with that. I have done some, let's just say, contract disputes between devils and people myself. But what you're telling me, this is.
I mean, if the cat's out of the bag, we're going to let the whole cat out of the bag. There's no point in keeping any of it in there. You
I
just have an angry cat
We have
and
a cat.
holes in your bag.
Where's the cat?
You see, now I am in a situation.
Queen
My
returns with a big bottle of cactus juice, plops down.
my
on the log.
training is telling me to alert my order, not of you, but of this threat. But if they know about it already, they would be preparing measures to do something if they saw it necessary. But if I were to
So-
contact them about it and they weren't, and they didn't know of it and they weren't going to do anything, I might get questioned as to how I got that information.
If you were to contact them about it, I might have to shoot you.
Wait,
There's
no,
also that.
no shooting. But the point is, really, honestly, do you think that your order would be capable of gaining the respect of this tribe? More importantly, being humble enough to gain the respect of this tribe, because currently that's the only way we know of fixing this problem.
Mm. Would I?
You
Could I
still
like
don't quite
roll
understand.
my?
Well, I mean, you don't quite understand why befriending the Shoanti is going to fix that problem. I would say that your general consensus is the oracles are the ones who tell you everything. They tell you where to go, what to do, who to kill, who to apprehend. Even if it's something as simple as, steal an apple from this random vendor, right? That, whatever the oracles tell you to do, that is what you do. I mean, in hindsight, this whole situation here could be the work of the oracles themselves. After all, the city's in peril, and you, of all people, happen to find the 5 people who are apparently on the quest to try and be the only people out of everyone in the city to try and stop the queen. This seems like a divinely guided fate, if any ever existed. And maybe that's why the oracles didn't stop you. The oracles would have known about you leaving on your own. The oracles could have very easily had people stop you. So why didn't they?
Does your mask have eye holes? I'm assuming it. Oh, I don't know much about
does
No,
not.
it's actually a completely smooth mask. Is that Agnes asking Alexander or Laura asking me?
It's like it's
Just-
a
No,
completely
just a
smooth
minute.
mask with no eye holes. I can see through it though. But is Agnes the one asking?
Well,
Who's asking? Who's saying
No,
stuff
no,
right now?
Laura's no.
Uh,
Laura's asking if there's eye holes. Just because Agnes was going to look you in the eye, but if there's no eye holes to look into, then she's just going to look into the approximation of where she thinks your eyes may be in your face, if that makes sense. Right?
Alexander looks at her and is like, "Oh, right, the mask. Would it make you more comfortable if I took it off, perhaps? My order does not require me to wear it at all times. It's just at this point, it's just comfortable."
I mean, I was honestly wondering how you see out of that thing, but
Yeah.
I am completely indifferent.
To be honest, I'd like to see your eyes if that's okay.
All right. He pulls his hood down and takes the mask off. As you will. He has brown hair that's shaved at the sides with that's semi like slicked and curly. Scruffy, somewhat looking face. Uh, his eyes are also brown, just like his sister's. But the left side of his face is scarred with kind of almost in almost a lightning pattern, almost.
If you have any kind of high perception, you'll notice Agnes's eyes will soften in sympathy for a moment when she sees a scarring on your face, but then she gets very serious and she gets quite close to you, as close as you'll allow before you step back. And she'll just look you in the eyes and she'll just say, "Right, cut right through all the crap. The important question is, are you a Hell Knight or a brother?"
You ask a very difficult question of me.
Aye, these are difficult times, lad, and you need to make a decision.
I want to save my sister.
Perfect. So do we.
Then please do not see me as Alexander the Hell Knight. See me as Alexander, the child of Corvosa.
as long as you give us no reason to see you any other way, then I think we can do that. At least I can. I've had many strange companions so far on this. But if you're acting as a brother, then I can accept that for
I hope you understand that it will be a little hard for me to not to to act against my training, if you will. I have been with the order for quite some time now. And like I said before, I do not know if Cressida would even recognize me or my voice. It's been so long.
Well, you're in luck. We've got plenty of time until we get back there.
And it's not like we're asking you to, go against your training or anything. Just try it our way first.
Mm.
And we'll all try and earn each other's trust. Because that has to be earned.
Of course, I do not expect you to trust me right away.
Or re-earned. And Quinn gives Agnes a very meaningful look.
Agnes looks uncomfortable and then sniffs and straightens up.
Quinn, I think I need some more of that cactus juice.
Pass the bottle over to Padraig.
Take a swig, pass it back,
All
or
right.
pass it to Agnes. She looks like she can use a drink. Send around the circle.
All right. You go and enjoy the last of the cactus juice before turning in to bed. As you do so, Holly, you contemplate a lot of the words that were said, in particular about again, everything was revealed. You selling your soul to protect people, and part of you in the back of your mind considers, is that what happened? And, was it truly worth it? A few distant thoughts cross your mind as you ponder to sleep. Dante, it has been a long time since you've seen the green trees of the Corvosan forest. You have never been this far away for as long, and you wonder to yourself, will the forest when you return be the exact same, or will the queen have influenced it and made it so that it is somewhere completely different when you return? Quinn, Agnes, of course, looms over your mind. You don't know who to trust. You don't like feeling vulnerable in this way, especially when it is out of your control. And I guess one of the biggest parts here is you know that there is a great burden that has come upon you very recently. And you wonder whether or not it's in part, you wonder what Vencalo would have done differently. Padraig, you sleep very soundly. You have drunk a lot of alcohol.
Spread, passed out.
Oh yeah, you are heavy
Snoring.
asleep. Alexander, your sleep is less than restful, should I say? Actually,
I mean, I am fatigued 3.
yeah, it is less than restful. You definitely pass out, and you definitely you are out like a light. But you're the majority of what you're feeling. The notion that you are not here at the behest of your church, that you are acting on your own independently. What does that mean? Will you be welcomed back to the Hell Knight Order when you return? Or is this act of defiance going to forever mean that you are like an outcast to your to the rest of the Hell Knights? Agnes, once again you find yourself playing with the small toy train that you have in your possession. As you do so, you begin to feel something asking you questions. Are you all right?
Agnes hesitates a moment, but she's not unaccustomed to, voices asking her questions from the other side. So I think she just goes, not really, no.
You wanna maybe talk about it?
I talk about all the grand ideals about saving the city and morals and I just want to make sure my daughter's safe. And I will do anything, and I mean anything, to make sure that happens. And that's all I really care about.
Saving the world can be very big. It's hard to think about. But, you know, someone has to stand up. Because when good people do nothing, that's when bad things happen.
I know. That's all I really know how to be as a mum. And I'm hoping that'll be enough.
I'm sure it will. I've been watching everything. I didn't know at first. I didn't know if there was any hope or anything that would make me feel better after everything. But seeing you try so hard to save the city, you know, to save your daughter, I kind of wish that someone could save me that way. But it might be a little too late for that. So maybe.
Oh dearie, it's never too late to try, is it? And if I can save at least, well, someone, it'd be something.
But maybe someone needs to save you.
Hi, well, later.
The voice begins to quiet, and something about it seems to soothe you. As you go to sleep, you begin to gain visions of a specter that seems to watch over you while you sleep. All right. The morning arrives. You all begin to slowly awake, except for Holly, who remains steadfast and firmly in her dream. Holly.
Oh dear.
Something is inherently wrong. You find yourself in a twisted, contorted, and logic-defying forest. Cracked mirrors. This is very annoying. I'm going to turn that off. That is a hell no for me. All right.
Thank you so much.
I think we got the vibe. Let me
Yeah.
mix up a few things. Hold on.
Honestly,
A
that
bunch
felt
of
more
drunk
like
people untuned an orchestra and then tried to play
yeah.
it.
Yeah, no,
that sounded
that
more
was it.
like a horror movie version of Wild Beyond the Witchlight.
Yeah, a little bit. That was actually from the Wild Beyond the Witchlight set. Okay, hold on.
What was it? There was something similar. Hecna, I think it was called.
Oh, I love Techno. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the vibes that song gave me.
All right, there we go. Let's
I was
go with this
thinking
one.
Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Okay.
Good
So,
movie.
as I was mentioning,
not
a
good movie.
twisted forest. Everything is wrong. There is broken glass and mirrors stuck and embedded in shards along the entire forest. The grass itself seems to be almost like a myriad of like sort of excruciatingly pained faces frozen into the leaves or the little strands of grass that are on the floor. The sky itself has a moon with a large hooked chin and large grin sort of plastered over its crescent form as it laughs in the sky above you. And sitting in front of you is a small little fairy dressed in formal attire. You recognize this, Holly, as Puck.
Hey, Puck, what's going on?
Puck raises his eyes and turns to you. You realize that one of his eyes is now missing, where it wasn't before. His ear has been chewed on, like by a wild animal. And as he strains to look up in your direction, he says, I did what I can. He's coming for you, Holly. You've got to get out there. Got to get safe.
I gotta get where? Who's coming for me?
They're mad, Holly. They're mad in a way I've never seen before. This is no joke. Take this. He reaches painfully into his pocket and pulls out what looks to be a stone ring with a hole carved into the middle of it. It is covered in blood. The blood is sparkly.
Of course it is.
Hmm.
Holly very hesitantly takes it with like the tips of 2 fingers. What is this? What is this blood? Whose blood is this?
Never you mind that. Listen. The wedding's called off. It's too late. War came. And now it's coming for you. You'll need that. You'll need it to watch out. They'll come for you and your friends. Soon you'll be the last left.
Who is coming? What are you talking about? Who is coming?
He starts to fade, drifting slowly. He says, the son of the Lantern King, the lamplighter. He's the one who did all this. It was a ruse from the start, Holly. The reason you were chosen. They knew. They knew the whole time. They never intended to. And with his eyes still open, you watch as the life leaves Puck's eyes. Holly,
Yeah.
scene is yours.
I'm still in there. I haven't woken up.
You have not woken up.
Okay. I'm gonna look at the body and see if there's anything else on Puck.
You begin to search Puck. It becomes all too clear
the number of wounds and battle scars that have happened. Some of which have been healed by magic, others that have just, again, he'd just been worn. You find a few things. You find some scrapped bits of parchment, torn up messages. You can try to put them together, but they seem to come from your parents. It seems to have been a kind of like a lost will kind of thing. But from what you see, Puck has tried to tear this beyond repair. If you want, you may make an intelligence check to try and piece it together. But you have no idea why Puck would have ripped this apart, because from all appearances, it seemed to have been addressed to you.
I will use one of my hero points to reroll that.
Sure.
Is that good enough?
With a 13. No, unfortunately not.
I will use my divine intervention to reroll that.
Sure. It is technically a type of contract. I will allow it.
Son of a.
I will allow you to do so at advantage, because you have
Okay.
done it. You have thrown quite a bit at it.
All right. Here we go.
Okay, with a 21. It is a very powerful message. One filled with the last desperate, bitter, and volatile thoughts of enraged fairies. It lays a terrifying curse upon Holly. Not a real curse, but it literally is your parents holding you responsible for the downfall of their empire and their kingdom. Lots of pretty dark stuff. And you realize that the reason why Puck likely tore this apart was because of a plot twist. But also to spare your feelings. He knew that even though you had gone your own way, that you were living your life. And that Puck had done his best to try and give you that space to be able to do that. When he continued to service your parents as best he could, this was the last message he could not deliver. So instead he tore it up. But the message does tell you that the eldest, known as the Lantern King, was considered to be just a trickster, a prankster. But their son has a maliciousness to them that knows no end. These are more than just pranks. He has his eyes set on conquering your small corner of the Feywilds. And there is very little left. But to secure his seat, he either needs to marry you or kill you. And your parents hope he kills you, so they can see you in the afterlife and deal with you themselves.
That's harsh.
Oh yeah.
Fuck.
Right?
Once you
And
read
Patrick's parents were bad.
once you read this, you can turn to leave this scene. But from each of the mirrors, you now receive visions. Every shard of broken glass now reflects each member of your party, including Alexander.
I'm gonna stay and look at the visions.
Quinn, dressed as Blackjack, hung on the gallows. Dante's pelt being worn by an evil queen who presides over the view in front of them. Alexander, in chains by the side of the queen, shackled by several hell knights, whose eyes are bound in chains and whose terrifying visage is kind of like almost akin to the Joker, with these huge gleeful smiles draped across their face. Agnes, in the crowd, watching mournfully, dressed in black, standing next to Dan, also dressed in black. Padrig, nowhere to be seen. But you notice a very recognized rifle being wielded by Sabina Marin, the Grey Maiden, who was the right hand of the Queen. You see these visages in each and every one of these mirrors.
So Holly's pretty familiar with Puck's ability to do pranks and tricks. What are the odds this is just one of Puck's pranks?
Very hard to say. So hard to say. If you try, you can try to manifest one of his pranks.
Okay, what would I do for that?
Make a wisdom check as you try to manifest something within your dream. All right, with a 9. Looking at Puck, dead behind you. The broken shards of mirrored glass all around you. The visage of this terrifying sight at the end of the road. You concentrate and try to focus on the prank, the joke. Remove the veil. Remove the illusion. Remove the trickery. And suddenly, by your feet, you feel something. A tiny feathered creature. You look down and see a duck with tiny dragon wings. Wah. Breathes a tiny little spit of fire.
I pet the duck.
The duck sort of opens its mouth, falls onto its side, and starts, freaking slapping one of its feet together.
Do I have any way of interpreting that?
It's a duck that breathes fire. I mean, you interpret it however you want. You can ask the duck. Maybe it knows.
Duck, do you speak any of my languages?
Quack. It nods.
Duck, did Puck make you?
It shakes its head to say no.
Where did you come from?
It looks straight at the imaginary camera at someone in the audience, but then looks at you.
The duck just breaks the fourth wall.
It's Deadpool duck.
It then
Duck pool.
It then looks at you and seems to hold its gaze at you. It seems to imply that this is a creation of your doing, not Puck's.
Okay, can I try again to figure out if Puck is capable of this level of darkness?
Unfortunately, well, he is capable of doing something this fucked up, yes, but the fact that you couldn't manifest Puck's power, or you couldn't break through Puck's veil, either Puck has gotten really, really strong, or this is legit. and the duck
Oh.
is your imagination. It's your dream.
Okay. Okay, I'm gonna wake up now.
All right, you close your eyes and focus on awakening. And as you do so, your eyes come to at the sounds of everyone else already up and about, moving through this place. Everything is getting packed up and ready for your journey to the Temple of the Moon. Alexander has at this stage, or Alexander, are you wearing your mask again?
No.
No. So you're maskless now?
Yes.
Very well. Okay. Having abandoned the Order of the Gate, taking off his mask and now acting as an independent, you kind of can see that there is a little less tension in the air until you notice something on your chest. The duck is still there. And it looks you in the eye and says, "Wake up, Holly." And then you wake up again. And then we end the stream. Because that is how that
Holly get
happens.
inceptioned.
Duckception! Okay, there we go. All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining us today. I hope you had a fucking amazing time. A very special shout out and welcome to our friend Duke from One Shot Questers. Always a pleasure to see you, my friend. Always fun to bring fire-breathing animals into my games when you're around. And for those of you who don't know, me and Duke will be doing a one-shot for Pathfinder in a couple of weeks, so be sure to check out that. It'll be on the 11th of July for me in Australia and the 10th of July for the folks in America. So lock in the dates because that's going to be a lot of fun. Plus, if you are interested in the new Dungeons & Dragons materials that are coming out and being released by WotC, over on the One Shot Questers Twitch and YouTube channel, they are currently doing watch parties of all the new classes and races and videos as they come by as well. So go check those out as well. But for today, my players, you have done all absolutely amazing. There was a lot of really, really cool stuff here. This was a campfire episode, which is where we got to obviously dig into and unearth a few things that may have been lingering for some time. Obviously, introducing Alexander as a character, we now got to know a little bit about him. Him and Padre got to have their tete-a-tete, which was obviously pretty intense. Agnes also has now had the kind of a touch on, but we're going to touch on that a little bit more as well. Touch on the spectral guardian that is now accompanying Agnes, which is going to be a lot of fun to see more happening as we go forward. And then, of course, Holly and the story of the failed engagement. That is going to be a wonderful catch to see what does happen. Who is after Holly? And yes, we have the Red Mantises after Padric, the Hell Knights after Alexander, the Fae after Holly, the Gods after Quinn. You know, who's gonna chase who? You know, it's gonna be epic. It's gonna be amazing. And
Everyone's trying to kill us.
Everyone's trying to kill you. So if you want to see more, hit that follow button. Come check us out later on. Who are we gonna go raid? Let's go raid someone. Raidy. Let's see. Is there anyone in the Pathfinder category? Pathfinder.
There's a Phoenix Uwaki that is streaming D&D at least.
Yeah, but that's not Pathfinder.
No.
I don't think it,
Oh, but it is.
I honest to God think you were the only person that actually streams.
Look, I know. Okay, we've been over this. Okay, fine. I'll go to the D&D channel.
Well,
We love Phoenix.
there's a channel of VTubers doing it. They've got 15.
Yeah, I looked at it. I was very meh about that one.
Yeah.
But is Phoenix doing stuff? I can't see Phoenix.
Yeah, they're doing Tomb of Annihilation.
Winter's Tales is on.
I think they're doing
Is it
a pre-record. I don't know if they're doing a live one. Let me just Let me just manually raid because apparently it's being all weird and messy. Oh, no, there we go. Yeah, oh, Out of the Abyss's finale. Let's do that. Scarlet64 is doing her finale. For her Dungeons and Dragons campaign. We definitely want to come and give their support as they wrap up their Out of the Abyss series with their Demon Lord Kaiju battle. All right, guys. Well, guys, my name's Michael. I'm the Dead OZ Gamer. This is my place. This is my face. Go out there. Have an amazing day, amazing night, whatever time it happens to be. Stay safe. Be kind to each other because why the fuck not? It's free. And until we meet again, as always, from us to you, game hard or die trying. Good night, folks.
Bye bye.
Goodbye, baby.
Bye.